UT Martin head coach Jason Simpson. The Skyhawks back in the top 25 polls after a 28-21 win at Tennessee State. They are now back in action this week. They're going to be at Charleston Southern. So, Coach, let's just some thoughts on your team, and we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, sure. Good college football game. Very, very competitive game. Very fast, physical. I think Coach George Eddie's done a good job. He's got a good football team. Obviously got off to a good, a good start. Scored 3 touchdowns in the first 12 plays. Very. I don't. They were defended good. They were good schemes, and then nobody fell down. It was good throwing and catching, and just executed. So very pleased with that. Then they did a nice job, and returned the kickoff, took back a little momentum, and scored. And then we scored before the half, so now you got 2-score lead going the second half, and they did a nice job on defense. We got backed up a couple times, couldn't really flip the field. So they scored another time, and then the fourth down stop though, or the first and goal, and to be able to get 4 stops, very impressed with and appreciative of our defensive staff. The calls that they made, how the players executed it. To get it to the fourth down and flush the quarterback and get a PB pass breakup. It was good stuff, and both teams did some good things, deservingly to maybe win the game, but we were very fortunate to come out on top, and keeps us alive and move on to this week.
How good is the top of this league? You all were tied for second place, and it was down to the wire game.
How good's the what? I'm sorry, excuse me.
The top part of this league, then you all were tied for second place going into that game.
There's not a lot. Here's what people have asked me. Here's what I think happens. I think good teams in our league, from the year past, will lose guys to some portal, which will bring their talent level down. Other teams in this league add players, so they move up. All right. So to me, when I turn the tape on, I mean, every week's competitive. Yeah, and there's been some games that we've been able to, win, handedly, but when you turn the tape on, that team can beat us. That's not coaches speak. And you look at Charleston Southern. I mean, were they third in the league in total defense? That's a problem. That's a good football team, defensively, especially. So, no, it is. I think it's very competitive every week. Our guys have done a good job. They know they have to practice. You don't look at the records. The talent level and coaching gives the teams chances every week. Now, doesn't help any of us in the SEMO or Tennessee State or anybody that's got some wins in their belt. Doesn't help them in the rankings and doesn't help them in the playoff pictures and stuff like that because of the losses. But that just kind of, it's either going to be one or two things, right? We're all going to be 4-4 in the league, or somebody's going to separate themselves a little bit, and then the other teams have the losses, which doesn't give the wins credibility. So, but that's just competition.
What generally, what has made your team so successful the last 5 games? You won 5 in a row, 6 to 7. What is it about this team that's kind of put this winning streak together?
I think we know who we are. Okay. I think we know who we are. I think we've done a good job, our coaches and players, of realizing, we went into that Kennesaw game, maybe early in the year, maybe we were living off the last 3 years. Maybe we were trying to be somebody that we were not. Okay. And don't get me wrong, we played, we were very competitive against SEMO that first game and had our opportunities. But I think that's just human nature, is to read articles about yourself and to get ahead of yourself. And, you're trying to, win 10 games in one practice, and it doesn't work like that, right? There's a process to it. So I think knowing who we are, knowing what the players do well, knowing, what the formula are, what your formula is in all 3 phases. I think we've done a good job of doing that. Not worried about statistics. It's about scoring offense, scoring defense, and turnovers. and making those the main thing and not just the bells and whistles and stats and stuff like that. The main thing is to give yourself a chance to win with the players that you have and the schemes that you can execute. And I think we've done a pretty good job. There's been some years, right, where, we were up there in tackles for losses, and some of the tops in the country. This year, not so much because, we've adopted a different style of what worked the last couple of weeks. This week could be different. All right. And, we've been playing a lot of coverage and rallying, tackling, but we've been getting the turnovers. Okay. And so that's been working for us the last couple of weeks. And as long as, we've been able to keep teams under 20 points, we've been able to win the football games. Like I said, the last couple of weeks, that's what's worked for us. So, but it's a week by week basis.
Chris Hunter played pretty good at two interceptions, including a really big one late in the game.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, okay, because I would like to advocate for my guy. It's too late to, especially at least be co-player of the week on defense. That's important to those players, and to have a top game like we had, to get 2 interceptions, and almost had a third one on the tip ball that he almost got. That made a huge impact in that game. So I definitely think he was worthy of some recognition in the league. And so I need you to get that done next time for him. I think he deserved it. But no, those are 2 great plays. I was very proud of him.
You want to be playing your best ball at the end of the season. I know you still got. I'm gonna ask you about Charleston Southern again in just a sec. You got 3 games left, but if you keep playing this well, you can carry yourself into a potential postseason. Just thoughts on getting things right at this point of the season.
We're obviously, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence with our football team. We're taking every week like a playoff game, to survive, and maybe new opportunities are opened up the next week. And kind of the mindset this week, it's got to be all about business. Last week, right, you're playing an in-state rival, a lot of the players, so I didn't have to say a whole lot for the energy and motivation of the team. Now, you're going several states over, a team that we're not real familiar with. It's got to be, about us and our journey of this year, and and our improvement. So that's how we'll approach it and practice this week and get ourselves ready to go.
You touched on Charleston Southern. I just wanted you to expand a little bit. But you talked about some of their defense, and like, you don't look at records, right? But they're much better than their record says, and they've been in lots of games. So is there something else you've seen on them? And they've had some injuries at their running back. They've switched people out there. Anything you've seen about them on?
Yeah, what I showed to the team yesterday, I think they've had the lead 3 or 5 times in games. They've had 3 or 5 games they've lost by a score or less. The defensively, they're 3rd in the league in total defense. They give up about 24 points a game. And so the point to our team, then we know, is when you only give up 24 points a game, you got a chance every week. I mean, that's why I tell our defense, if you're only giving up 24 points, we ought to have a chance to win in college football in this day and time. And they're one dive, one option pitch, one quarterback scramble, one pass away of getting one more score, which I know they'd like to have, and they're going to win. They're going to win some of these games. And they play extremely hard. They've got very on defense, multiple schemes, more than probably anybody else in the league, and keep you guessing and show you some tough looks, and they don't give up a lot of balls in the middle of the field, and just a problem. They do a very nice job. I'm very impressed with what I've seen. And you know what? Showed our players last year, we won 8 games with a chance to win 9, but in that particular game, it was 3-0. We were up 3-0 in the 4th quarter, and we didn't play very well offensively. And luckily, our defense kept us in the game, and I believe got a shutout or something similar to that. We kind of limped out of there with a win. So history should teach us some lessons of not that we weren't ready to play last year. They're very good on defense, and they make it difficult. Their option schemes keep themselves in some games.
Coach, that's all I got for you. Thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hey, sorry about your Bucks, man.